Hey everyone, and welcome back to Amaya365. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a new year, new season. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I hope you ate well. I hope you got all the presents you wanted. And of course, we're back with a new season. And this is season 1, episode 1 of Amaya365. So I have an amazing show for you today. Let's jump right in. So this year I decided to change things up a little bit with the Amaya365. So we'll be doing an episode each Friday. And it's going to be 6 weeks in a season. So every 6 weeks we'll change to a new topic, a new subject. And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to give you guys all the amazing content I have for you and to go on this adventure with me. So the topic for today is, I'm sure you guys have seen this viral video of this poor woman, this trans woman who was misgendered in a Gamestop. And I believe the Gamestop was in Florida. So in the video, you can clearly see that the woman is upset. And she's telling the guy that, she wants to be addressed as ma'am. And he continues to misgender her. And the scene escalates. And you can see the store is disheveled. The clerk doesn't really know how to respond. And the trans woman is obviously irate. So my first reaction when I watched the video, my heart literally hurt for her because I know that struggle of wanting to be treated as a woman, to be recognized as a woman in public especially. And so my heart broke. But also on the other side, I was proud of her for sticking up for herself and being like, actually, you're not going to misgender me. You're going to call me ma'am. That's what I want to be called. And if you're not going to do it, you're not going to get my business. Yes, it might have been loud, boisterous, and a little bit aggressive, but she's standing up for herself. And for me, that was one of my first reactions. I was just like, you go, girl. You stand up for yourself. Because no one else was. As you see in the videos, someone's just standing there recording the whole thing instead of being like, you know what? You're going to call her ma'am. Because that's what I would have done. I would have been like, actually, excuse me. That's a woman. You're going to respect her as a woman. And if not, you don't get our business. And so also I've been seeing a lot of reactions. I was watching a lot of the headlines, as they popped up on my Facebook. It was like, this woman is throwing, or this trans woman is throwing a tantrum. And or this man, it was the title of like, this man wants you to call him ma'am or something like that, continuing to misgender her. And so it was like, some of the titles were very, very toxic and damaging to the trans community. So it was really interesting. So I guess that was my first reaction. But I also wanted to explain to you guys what triggered is. Because there are things in the community, especially in the trans community, that will trigger trans people. It could be domestic violence. It could be PTSD. It could be dead naming, misgendering. It could be being outed. There are so many things that can trigger people. And it's not just within the trans community, but those are some examples of what trigger trans people. And so I went online, just Urban Dictionary, because most of us, we get most of our info from Urban Dictionary these days. And I just looked it up, and it basically said being triggered is getting filled with hate or anger after seeing or hearing something that you obviously don't like. And so by the clerk calling her sir, she was triggered. And that's understandable. And so oftentimes people are wrapped up in their own lives that they can't even comprehend the struggles that other people are going through. So this clerk obviously didn't know, what happened to her when she woke up. Trans people have a lot of hardships they struggle with on the daily, from waking up in the morning to having body dysmorphia, not feeling comfortable in your body. And each trans person is on their own journey in their transition. They're at a different point. Some have surgeries, some don't. Some are just starting to self-heal and be okay in their bodies, and some are just starting their journey and hating life. So every day is a struggle just waking up. And then we pack all of that in, we put a band-aid on it, deal with the best we can, and then we have to face the outside world. We have to go to work. We have to interact with people. And you never know how people are going to react. People will stare at you. People will dead name you, misgender you. Even within the community, there are girls hating on girls, or trans guys hating on trans guys because they're not as passable, because they don't have surgeries. So there's so much pressure on trans people and so many hardships that trans people deal with every single day that we don't even know about. So it's always good to keep that in mind, that every trans person is going through a hardship and we probably don't even know or haven't even touched the surface of it because it's so deep. I saw a lot of the hatred coming from that she wasn't feminine enough or she wasn't passable. And for me, I looked at it and I was like, she's presenting as a woman. She had her hair done, she had on women's clothing, she had her purse on, and I was like, okay, if you obviously see her trying, why not respect her and call her ma'am? Or if you don't even feel comfortable, then just say, okay, next customer, please. Simple, to avoid any type of slip up or anything. Just say, hey, next customer, and move on. But I saw a lot of the, especially within the trans community, just saying that she shouldn't be considered trans because she was so aggressive, or that's a man because she was so aggressive. No, she was hurt and she was angry. I know plenty of trans women who are women, but who are more masculine. They have tomboy features. They like to dress more like men. Well, maybe not men, but they're more androgynous. They're tomboy. Some like to work on cars. Some just have like more masculine energy. So I think we have to really keep that in mind, that not every trans woman is going to be or is going to embody femininity. And femininity comes in all shapes and forms. So I think we have to recognize when people are presenting as women and treat them as such. And also that femininity is in the eye of the beholder. Like, to each their own. And let them live their best life. Because at the end of the day, you're going through your own struggles and they're going through theirs. And we should all try and make every day a better day. Even if it's just a smile, like smiling and recognizing like, hey, I see your struggle, you see mine, but we're still in we're in it to win it. So I guess my message to the cisgender people about this situation is, it's never okay to misgender a trans person. It's not funny. It can oftentimes be very dangerous for that person. And for the trans people who are hating or who are bashing other trans people, we're in 2019. Like, instead of bashing them, let's help them. Let's bring them up. Let's stand together for our trans brothers and sisters, because they need an ally, because they need someone to have their back instead of having a phone recording a horrible incident. So I really appreciate you guys. I love you. Again, this is season 1, episode 1 of Amaya365. There's so much more to come. And I just want to say I love you guys. Happy New Year. And I can't wait for our next episode. Until then, I will see you later. Bye.